Hey YouTube, this is Mr. Z-Man. Welcome to the tutorial on how to basically fire a cannon. Um, and no, I did not make this model like you're thinking. I actually imported this from a website called artist3d.com. It's a great website. It has a few free 3D models, and I fortunately happened to find this great cannon model right here. So anyway, let's get started with the tutorial. Basically, what I want to do with this is use this cannon to fire a cannonball like this one on the ground next to it, and basically have it hit that wall of spheres, basically, or excuse me, cubes. Well, to start off, we want to, of course, you need a cannon model, but also what we want to do, we basically want to add some realism to it, and we do that first off by adding physics. Now, if you go into your inspector, you can add a component to this rigid body. I already added it right here. Basically what rigid body does, it allows the laws of physics to act on the cannon. So like, for example, gravity, force of gravity, if I put on rigid body, basically the cannon will be able to respond to gravity pulls. And also what you want to add to make sure the cannon doesn't go through the ground, you want to add a collider. And in this case I have a capsule collider, but it doesn't really matter. You can have a box collider as long as you have something to keep the cannon stable. So like if I play this, and yeah, I have a first person view camera to allow me to move around. Basically that allows me to bump into it, which is good because that makes the cannon realistic. Now to get started off, what we want to add basically is a shooting script, and there's a script on Unity you can get from their website. It's really great. Anyway, let's look at this script. Basically what you have here is just a simple script for you to shoot a 3D object forward, basically. So at the top you create a projectile and you give it a rigid body feature, basically to have physics laws apply. If you don't add a rigid body, you'll get an error when you try to run the game. So you do that, and then the first thing we want to do when you see this script, you see input.get button down fire 1. Basically what this does is anytime I press the control button, this will allow me to basically shoot. Fire 1 in Unity is automatically symbolizes the control button. You can also use jump, which is the space bar in Unity. Yeah, I already talked about rigid body. Two important things are transform position and transform rotation. Basically this allows the object that you attach, when you fire it, you want it to shoot from, you want to control where it comes from. So like if I didn't have transform position or transform rotation, if I press control, like, and say I put a cannonball, then the cannonball would just fall from the sky. It wouldn't shoot from where I want it to come from, basically. So those two are very important: transform position and transform rotation. Okay, what controls the direction of the shot is down here, vector 3. This basically tells you the axes you want to shoot from. And so I think in this case I'm shooting from the Z axis, which means that the cannonball will go straight, and that's what we want. We don't want to go up and down or anything like that. We want to go straight. And of course the speed is basically how fast it will go, and it's determined up here, and you can change it also when you get back into game mode. And lastly, physics ignore collision. What that basically means is that like say for example I want to shoot out of this cannon right here, this barrel. If I didn't have that on, then every time I would shoot a cannonball, it would collide with this barrel and cause some problems. So we don't want that. Alright, and now that we've looked at that code, let's exit out of that. Let's get to actually shooting this thing. So, okay, I guess a good question is, where do we want to how do you want to fire from a cannon? Because if I okay, so if you want to shoot, of course you have to attach this cannon shot script. But what you can do, what I thought at first was to attach it to the cannon, right? Because I want to shoot from the cannon, but there's a problem with doing that. Okay, first we have to set something to shoot, and I want to shoot one of those cannonballs on the ground. So click on this projectile. Basically, I have to give it an object to shoot. So I'll choose like sphere 3. And so play that, and I press Control, and you see the cannonballs coming, but they're like coming from the ground, and we don't want that. We want them to come from the cannon muzzle right here. So the way to do that, okay, first we go here and remove this component. And so the way to do that, you basically have to create an empty game object for and then attach that script to it. So I create empty, and game object, you can't see it because it's empty. Like, say if I put it right here, and then I attach cannon shot to it, and then I go through this again, and I choose sphere. Now if I play this, you'll notice that the cannonballs are coming, but they're coming from that empty game object, which is invisible basically. So I guess you know where this is going. What we want to do, we want to put the empty game object in front of this cannon nozzle right here. And also what we want to do is coming out of the Z direction, which is this blue arrow. So what we want to do is we want to rotate this way so that it shoots and it looks like it's coming from the gun. Now I've already made an empty game object called muzzle, and it's right in front of the gun already, so I already have that in place. So we go to muzzle and we attach cannon shot script, and put not Q, sphere 3. So play this, and as you can see, it looks like a cannonball is coming from the frame. So okay, we have a working cannon. We can shoot as many as we want to, and they just keep coming. But the only problem is they're not going fast enough. So what we can do, in the script I showed you that speed variable, right? This controls the Z direction. We can set it to, like, say 100, and boom, there you go. It's going a lot faster, and if you can see behind it, the cannonballs are going and they're obviously falling off the world because this world isn't big enough. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's how you create a cannon shot. Now for a bonus, I'm going to add, well, for a bonus I'm going to add an exploding object with sound. I already have a prefab down here. I'm not going to get into detail about this, but I'm just going to put this to show you what you can do with this. Go back to muzzle and put this cannonball prefab where sphere was, and then if I press play and I shoot, you get an explosion, and also I added sound. So the possibilities with this are really endless. I mean, of course, this is how you create a gun. You shoot a bullet, and I just showed you a cannon. And also, like, if you had a tank or something, that's how you would create a projectile, and you could mess around with it. You can find decent game objects and just practice. There's a lot of trial and error, especially it took me a while to get this to work. But anyway, thanks for watching this tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, thanks.